Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, November 28th. Happy Thanksgiving weekend to everybody. Talking about Thanksgiving, it seems like Google may have released a Penguin refresh, maybe codenamed Penguin 3.1, on Thanksgiving Day yesterday. There's tons and tons of chatter, specifically in the Black Hat forums, around such an update. Webmaster World is also talking about it somewhat, and as well as other forums and Twitter and so forth. A lot of people are saying there were recoveries, not necessarily like penalties, but obviously any recovery may seem like a penalty for somebody else. That being said, I find it really highly unlikely that Google would actually do that intentionally. It's the busiest shopping season of the whole entire year. Google has told us time and time again that they would never release a major update on such a weekend, or even over from Black Friday area through the end of the year, Christmas. But you never know. You just never know. I've been trying to reach out to Google. Obviously, it's Thanksgiving weekend, so it's very hard to get a response from them. So anyway, if you're looking for that, that's the feature post today, Friday, seroundtable.com, and you can get more information from there. Talking about penalties, Google has officially actually went ahead and submitted tons of manual actions. Tons of manual actions in Poland around a Polish link network. This is several times they've actually went ahead and targeted Polish link networks in the past. Gotta get a new iPad. Several times they actually released massive penalties around this as well. People are thinking that this has to do with the ProLink.pl network. They actually confirmed they were actually hit by this. So it's very interesting to see. This happened earlier this week. We reported about it on November 24th. This is very interesting. We talked about this, I think, a couple weeks ago, about Google not indexing and ranking content, or not ranking content specifically within tabs or click-to-expand links. So these are like examples of tabs that you click on it. Google wouldn't rank the content in these areas if it's in tabs. And Google's John Mueller went ahead and talked about it. I asked him that question on a Google Plus Hangout, and in short he said content within click to expand menu or tabs may be discounted since Google knows that you are hiding it from users. So in short, you should probably just list it all out. Google itself does click to expand, as you can see, but when you actually click on a specific thing, it takes you to a very short article about that with a specific page about it. So if you want to learn more about that, it's very, very important you guys look at it. November 25th at seroundtable.com. Also fairly new is that Google told us that certain ranking factors around mobile still use desktop signals, and this is not surprising because obviously mobile is fairly new in terms of ranking signal. There are only very few mobile specific ranking factors in the area around that, and again, this is really distracting when things don't load. I know the site works fine, I just know with the iPad it doesn't, so I apologize. But basically Google's saying that they still use many desktop-specific ranking signals for mobile ranking. Even page speed, so how fast your site loads on a desktop view, will be used for the mobile ranking. Even if you have a different CSS or whatever, it will be used for mobile-specific ranking factors. So there are different things that you should know about that, and again, this is not loading, so I apologize, but I think I just summed it up pretty nicely. There it goes. So again, this is something that John answered in 18 minutes and 50 seconds in a Google Hangout. Specifically, the answer was that there are a bunch of things such as page speed and other factors that Google uses on the desktop side that they use for mobile rankings specifically. The Google cache date is now a month old for many sites, specifically sites that are not updated every day, like this site, but you can see here the rustybrick.com site hasn't been updated since October 21st. I checked this morning, it still hasn't been updated. But John Mueller says you do not have to worry about it. Cache doesn't mean when it was indexed, it's still being indexed fairly quickly, and you don't have to worry about it. Google has said, stop using PageRank. Again, they said this over and over again, that you should stop using PageRank as a metric, and they won't be updating it in the future. So stop using it, Google says. It's something they're not going to go ahead and look into and use in the near future. Now that Google has released their mobile ranking testing tool and stuff around that. They said they're seeing a lot of people complaining that it's not working. They have mobile sites, but yet it's showing that it's failing. And Google's John Mueller said there's two primary reasons why it fails. One is there's too much being blocked by you guys in the robots.tsd file, so stop blocking it because Google can't detect if your site's mobile friendly. And two, if you're cloaking Googlebot and they're seeing one thing and really Googlebot's seeing something else, and that's another issue they've seen in terms of why the testing tool might not be working. Google AdSense is testing a new font. Here's an example of it. So this is the typical font you would see here, but now it's like this new sharp, crisp, edgy new font that Google's testing. Google Mobile Shopping is testing new ad formats on the mobile view. They had this on the desktop view, but now you can actually get more information. When you actually click, it expands and shows you a lot more information about the products themselves. It's obviously around the Google Shopping area. Oops. And also they have these 3D, these things spin. They have 3D views of products and stuff like that. So there's a lot of new things going on around mobile, specifically with shopping, because Google's obviously very into the shopping season right now. Earlier this week, we reported that the EU, European Parliament, wants to actually draft a proposal to force Google to break up their company because they're too big, they're antitrust issues, blah, 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 so they should break Google into different divisions and different companies so they can't be so competitive. That bill, or that resolution, was actually voted on yesterday and passed by 384 to 174 around that. And Greg Sterling explained that it's not binding. The resolution has no legal force, but it is a political statement. So, but that's a pretty much nice Thanksgiving present for Google and the EU. The U.S. court, otherwise, said basically Google has free reign to do whatever they want with the search results. And that's something that's very important because the EU and the U.S. obviously differ tremendously on that type of stuff around Google. This is funny. If you did a search earlier this week on King of the United States, what you would get was an article from here, but this is called a Google answer, and it would show Barack Obama is the Emperor of the United States. Then I wrote about it on Search Engine Land, and it said, all right, it took my article as the answer, and it says, who's the King of the United States? It's Barack Obama with my picture, which was pretty funny. And obviously this shows the issues around Google Answers. And finally, yesterday was Thanksgiving. And there were a bunch of Thanksgiving Day logos around that. So obviously Google had a very nice animated doodle, which is obviously off the website now, but it did definitely go live the other day. So let me just show it to you when it loads. Again, everything is very slow on this iPad. I probably have to upgrade it. Specifically, it's slow when I'm using Apple TV to project the data onto here. And then, I don't know, the Wi-Fi connection might be a little slow. The logo does not look like, I'll show you Dogpile. This is Google's animated doodle, just cute. Dogpile, Bing has a chipmunk that actually was animated. And even Mr. Jingles got into it in terms of the fall logo and stuff like that. Anyway, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. Everyone have a great Thanksgiving weekend, and hopefully I'll find more information out about the Penguin 3.1 release, if it was true, if it's a bug, or whatever is going on. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.